Today I'll share with you one concept that changed my life completely. It's the switch from being in a victim mode into a creator mode. I'll tell you the definition of a victim and some signs to look for to know if you're in victim mode. I'll tell you my personal story and things that have made me shift from being a victim to being a creator of my own life and reality. If you're new on this channel, my name is Anastasia and I'm a Jay Shetty certified life coach. On this channel we talk about spirituality, healing, life transformations, and also travel. That's going to be a new subject. Welcome back. I'm really happy to see you. Thank you for subscribing, and let's dive into the subject. Who is a victim and how do you know if you are one? A victim is someone who always blames the external environment for things that are going on in their life. So it can be other people, it can be the government, it can be the external environment, difficult childhood, whatever. Victims are the best at finding excuses for themselves. So what really defines the victim is the lack of power and control over their life and over their circumstances. So whenever phrases like it's because of this or I'm like that because of him or her, all of this is victim language. And the victim doesn't know that it's in control. That's the biggest defining factor. Creator mode is when you realize that whatever you have in your life, you can change it around. You have the power, you're in control, you have the pen and you write your story. So that's the biggest difference between those two things. And you might ask yourself, like, how do I switch from being a victim to being a creator? And I'll tell you my story. My understanding of becoming a creator first came to me probably when I was 15 years old. Before that, I was a textbook victim. In fact, I have a funny story. We were celebrating New Year's Eve with my family. I have two sisters, and my older sister came to me on the New Year's Eve and she tried to tell me about this practice of writing in New Year's resolutions and kind of like planning your year in advance, thinking about your goals for next year. And as a teenager, I think I was younger than 15. Yeah, I was 12, I think. Yeah, I told her, hey, just leave me alone. I'm not interested in this. And she's like, but what do you mean you're not interested in this? If you're not setting goals, like where are you gonna go? I told her a thing that we still laugh about even nowadays. I said, I don't want to have any intention. I just want to be like a dead fish swimming in the current, you know, like not against the current, but like just going like with the flow of the water and whatever it takes me. That's very far from the creator mode that I'm living in right now. But slowly I started realizing that I do want to have control over my life. And the first decision that I took that really shaped my life was deciding to move to the UK. When I was 15 years old, I had some family troubles. And instead of staying in the comfort zone of my home, well, it wasn't very comfortable, but it was everything that I knew at that point. I decided to move to England from Russia. I didn't even know English that well, but I really thought that it's time to take control over my life and be able to do that without the help of my family help me financially to first move. But other than that, I organized the whole process by myself and I passed the exams. Then in July and in August, I moved to this new country and that started a new chapter of my life. That was a really pivotal moment because I remember I came to London and I was standing on this London bridge overlooking the river, and I knew that my life has just begun. My life where I am writing my own rules, and I knew that I was the author. Really understood this sense of control and it empowered me. From then on, I was making lots of different choices and actions. Some of them were good, some of them were not so good. In university, I also recognized that there is a big difference between people who take control over their destiny and who just want things to somehow work out for them. I studied politics and sociology at City University of London for my bachelor's degree, and some students on my course were always complaining that our student center doesn't have enough career choices and opportunities. It was hard for them to land internships and part-time jobs. And for me, I just didn't understand why it was so popular to complain about this. Because when I was a second year student, I just approached a professor after my class and I told him that, like, hey, I really love what you're doing. Is there any way I could potentially work for you? And he was so excited and he was like, well, actually, you know what? I was looking for a research assistant. If you're interested, I would love to work with you because you have been an active student in my class and I know you and I trust you. That's how I landed my first job at uni. And after that, I applied for another one. And basically, I created the opportunities that were never even advertised. I didn't have to join this movement that complained about the lack of opportunities. I just went and created them by myself. When I finished my master's degree in politics, I realized that I don't actually want to go into academia. I was dreaming of becoming a professor at university myself and teaching students, but then I was like, no, I don't think that's a path for me. And since all of my work experience has always been related to research and academia, I couldn't really find a job after graduating from my master's at UCL. I didn't know what I could do since I didn't want to take this academic path. I was thinking about jobs and how when you're a foreigner, because I'm Russian, so I never really got settlement status or like a passport in the UK. So I always had to worry about the visa, and that was a really big thing that was constraining me. So I saw this problem, and I've been speaking to lots of people about this, people in my circle, how they're also struggling to find a job after graduating from good universities with good grades and work experience, but unable to actually land anything with visa sponsorship. That's when it came to me. I'm like, well, how about I create a platform that would attempt to solve that problem? I went on the government website in the UK and I found out that there is this new visa type that just got introduced. It was called Startup Visa. I'm not sure if it's actually still in place. I think it was removed. But basically, there is this visa type where you could apply your business plan and a business idea for an endorsing body, like a startup accelerator. And if they support you and they decide to finance you, then you would get the visa and you would have a chance to start your startup. So I've never done anything like that before. And I was like, okay, that is very exciting. Like, how about I take this immigration platform idea, turn it into a business plan, present it, pitch it, and if it works out, I stay in the UK and I also help others in a similar position. So that's what I did, and I got my endorsement and I got my startup visa. And for a while, I was trying to build this platform. It was called UK Hired. It doesn't exist anymore. But it was a really cool project that taught me a lot about responsibility, creativity, and just being able to turn an idea into a product that could help others. And it taught me how to look for other ways, because I could have complained about the system or I could have decided to change the system. And that's what really distinguishes you from being a victim or being a creator. Even though I'm telling you all the stories of how I was being proactive, and I think it's kind of like in my backbone to gravitate towards taking action. But at the same time, there were moments in my life when I was really in my victim mentality and it was holding me back so much. After living in the UK, I moved back to Russia in January 2022. And then in February 2022, the war began with Ukraine. And for me, it was extremely difficult. My ex-fiance was actually Ukrainian, and I had lots of ties and connections and friends and family in Ukraine. Paralyzed, not knowing what to do. I couldn't do anything about this. I felt powerless. And that was a dark moment in my life. I was pretty much not leaving the house. And again, what helped me get unstuck in that moment was realizing that something that I can do. And I'm gonna be more productive, be able to make an impact on this world if first I take care of myself, and second, I just start to focus on things within my zone of control, try to make my contribution into the world. And that's when I got a new job. I moved out of Russia, so I left and I started traveling the world, and that's how my digital nomad lifestyle began. Right now I'm based in Dubai, and Dubai became my new home, but I'm pretty much everywhere. I've been in the last 2 years, I've been living in Asia, I've been living in South America, I've been in Europe. I still visit the UK because my job and the main office is in London. But yeah, I'm a fully remote worker. And right now I'm fully in my creative mode. That's a bit of my personal story of shifting between this victim and creator modes. Now I'm gonna give you some practical tips on how you can do that too. So the first thing is to recognize which mode are you gravitating towards right now. Are you more prone to blaming the external environments for things that are not working out for your life, or are you actively pursuing new opportunities and taking action when things are not going well? You have to answer that question honestly. You can write that down in the comments below and share your story, or if you want to keep that personal, it's fine, but ask yourself that question and really ponder on this. The second tip that I'm going to give you is to realize how much power you actually hold. It's no one else's life, and nobody else cares about your life more than you do. It's not your parents that care about your life, it's not your friends, it's not your lover, it's no one else cares about your life more than you do. And you should make it your main responsibility to build the life that you deserve and build the life of your dreams. What is it that you want? What is it that feels out of alignment? Do you feel like you don't have enough work-life balance? How can you introduce more time off, and how can you relax more? Maybe find a new hobby. Do you feel like you're unhappy with your current financial status? Then think about your current job or whatever you're doing. Is there an opportunity that you could pursue? Like, could you maybe ask for a promotion? Could you look for a better job with a higher salary? Could you maybe improve your current skill set so you could apply for a higher position? Become an advocate for yourself, and don't be afraid to speak up, because if you don't actively pursue what you want, the world is not just going to give it to you. I love this whole thing about the universe aligning with you and bringing you abundance and love and everything you desire, and I believe in manifestations, but at the same time I believe that we are co-creating this reality, and I believe that we should be taking active steps and not just leaving this to the chance and to whatever happens. So I recommend you to think about the area of your life that is the most problematic right now. It can be finances, relationships, it can be health, whatever it is that bothers you. And try to really focus on that first without tackling other things. Because once you start improving like one area of your life, and once you start improving that skill of being a creator and taking control back of your life, then you're going to apply that to other areas. So pick one area of your life, try to see what is inside your control and what is outside of your control in that area, and things that are inside of your control, really see what you can change and write that down as action steps. Basically see how you can take action towards resolving that problem in that area, and then start taking action. Give yourself deadlines and start taking actions, and really be as creative as you can in coming up with solutions. You don't really have to action all of them, but it's a nice kind of exercise to give yourself creative freedom to think outside the box. And finally, to shift from the victim mindset into the creator mindset, you just have to believe in your powers. And you have to rewrite the narratives that you've been telling yourself in your head. If you have been telling yourself that you are powerless, that you are the product of the society or of the family that you grew up in, of the education or the lack of education that you received, you're none of that. You are a powerful being that can achieve whatever you put your mind in. And if you focus really hard on this, you can change things around. You need to reprogram yourself. And I'm gonna post more videos on this subject. This video is already getting a bit long, but I hope you found this useful, because it's essential if you want to live a life that is aligned with your true core, that really fulfills you, that makes you happy. You need to start becoming a creator. That means mastering the art of walking away. I've got a video about that. That means defending your boundaries, knowing that you have the main responsibility and the main gift of being in control of your life. So grab your pen and start writing the next chapter of your life right now, where you're the creator. I would love to read your comments, and if you resonated with anything that I was talking about today, I'm wishing you a beautiful, lovely day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!